Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're doing something a little bit different. We're taking a visionary walking tour of Winchester, Massachusetts, to explore what is honestly a truly brilliant concept. Imagine taking a whole town and transforming it into an interactive museum to honor its most famous son, Claude Shannon. But we're not talking about a traditional museum here with, white walls or ticket booths. What if you could integrate the mind of a literal genius directly into the daily lives of the citizens? Well, let's take a walk and see exactly why placing these site-specific statues all over town is an absolute masterclass in community education. Picture this. You stroll into the Black Horse Tavern for a quick bite to eat, and sitting right there next to your ketchup bottle is a highly realistic bronze figure caught mid-bite into a hamburger. Blending historical figures into everyday town life like this creates this amazing, engaging friction. You just don't expect a monumental historical figure casually sitting at your table, right? It completely shatters that barrier between a dusty old history book and the present day. It instantly makes you stop and ask, wait, who is this guy and why is he having lunch with me? But before we walk any further, we really need to understand why this man deserves an entire town's dedication in the first place. Claude Shannon is the undisputed father of information theory. Back in 1948, he essentially laid down the mathematical groundwork for the entire digital revolution. He proved that literally all information, text, audio, images, the whole shebang, could be encoded as a series of ones and zeros, transmitted without any error, and then perfectly decoded on the other side. So every single time you stream a video, send a text, or load a web page, you are living in the world that Claude Shannon built. Now, public art has this incredible power to translate that super complex math into something you can literally reach out and touch. Standing right there on a street corner, Shannon holds a physical matrix of zeros and ones. It gives us a spatial, tactile representation of the digital realm. Think about a student walking by on their way to school. Abstract computer science suddenly becomes tangible street art right in front of them. It takes the invisible digital forces powering their smartphones and makes them completely visible. Now, of course, a legacy this massive does require a proper introduction. At the formal entrance to Winchester, a more conventional monument sets the baseline. By greeting visitors formally as the father of information theory, it establishes the immense gravity and the sheer respect his accomplishments warrant. This anchor perfectly sets the stage so we know exactly who we're dealing with before we discover the more whimsical, deeply contextual installations scattered throughout the rest of the town. For instance, just down the road, we find him seated quietly on a park bench with a pen in hand. This completely humanizes the monumental scientist. He isn't perched high up on some inaccessible pedestal. He is right there at eye level. It transforms a simple piece of public seating into a space of reflection. It subtly suggests to anyone walking by that great ideas can happen to anyone, anywhere, even on a quiet Tuesday afternoon in Winchester. What I absolutely love about this town-wide design is how it pairs his very unique personality with community spaces. On one hand, you have Shannon famously juggling balls etched with binary code, which is a really fun nod to his real-life love for unicycling and general playfulness. On the other hand, he's casually seated in the bleachers watching a Winchester High School football game. The town is sending a really powerful message here. Genius isn't just about stern focus in a laboratory. It's about curiosity, play, and actively engaging with the world around you. And right next to that bleacher statue, we find this profound quote, "Information is measured by choice." Grounding his complex formulas about entropy in a sports setting is just incredibly clever. I mean, think about the football game happening right on the field below him. Every single play involves probability, uncertainty, and a rapid series of choices that dictate the outcome. It takes this incredibly high-level concept of information theory and anchors it directly to the totally relatable tension of a Friday night sports game. The installations even bridge the gap between rigorous scientific observation and everyday wildlife appreciation. Equipped with a camera, Shannon is crouched by the local creek alongside black-crowned night herons. He's not just playing the mathematician here, he's being a deeply patient observer. It invites anyone walking past to just stop, look a little closer at the local fauna, and appreciate the complex natural systems operating right in their own backyard. And this all really comes back to his profound philosophy: observing nature, finding patterns, making meaning. His genius wasn't just confined to artificial circuits and copper wires. This brilliantly communicates that the exact same observational skills used to watch a heron hunt in a creek are the very foundation for his world-changing scientific breakthroughs. Okay, and then, get this, we find him at the Winchester transfer station. Yes, literally the town dump. It is a delightfully ironic and beautifully mundane setting for a man of such massive intellectual weight. Just imagine bringing your old cardboard and yard waste to the recycling bins and Bam! There is the father of information theory looking all contemplative next to the single-stream recycling. It's a fantastic juxtaposition that proves history and learning belong absolutely everywhere the community goes. And positioned right above those bins is this plaque that reads, "Information is not the stuff of matter, but the stuff of order." I mean, that is absolute genius placement. As citizens are actively separating their trash from their compost and recyclables, they are literally creating order out of physical matter. We're being taught a high-level concept about entropy and organization while performing one of our most basic, everyday civic chores. So, by scattering these statues around, Winchester transforms public art into a living, breathing explainer. It takes abstract math and turns it into tangible street art. It humanizes a monumental figure by showing him eating, watching sports, and observing birds. Instead of isolating history behind glass, it integrates learning seamlessly into our daily routines. It sparks curiosity in places you least expected, making learning super accessible and incredibly fun. The lesson doesn't wait for you. It meets you exactly where you already are. Integrating a figure like Shannon directly into the social fabric of Winchester completely redefines what a memorial can be. And honestly, it makes you wonder, how could your own hometown use creative spatial design to bring its history to life? How could you take the greatest ideas born right in your community and weave them into the local parks, the diners, or heck, even the local transfer station to inspire the next generation? It's definitely something to think about. Until next time, keep observing, keep finding patterns, and keep making meaning.